message to the team is at the start of this offseason program?
It was real simple. We're in the development business and the winning business. Point blank, period. That's what we're in.
Hell yeah, coach. Hell yeah, coach. Man, this dude say all the right things. We're in the development business and we in the winning business. I love that shit. He don't fuck around, man.
I know you've done it before and stood in front of the team, but first time NFL head coach, did it feel any different this year?
It felt different preparing for the meeting, the time that it took to make sure you're on point with the message and for the guys to feel that message, but getting up in front of the room, no.
Do you have any update on Joe Petonio's plan?
I do not.
Turnout so far?
Oh, yeah. No, it's our job. We all know that the off-season is voluntary. I mean, it is. So, first of all, there's nothing like being around the players. I mean, it's everything we do is the development of players. That's how we get to where we're at in the coaching profession. So it's awesome being around it. But it is our job to put together an off-season program that makes them want to be here. From a development standpoint, from a connection standpoint, from a schematic standpoint, for them to want to be here. That's our job as an organization, as a coaching staff, that they get something here that they couldn't get anywhere else. Could they get stronger somewhere else? Yes. Could they get faster somewhere else? I guess. Can they get connected with their team? No. With their coaches? No. Absolutely not. Can they get what we're doing schematically? Absolutely not. But we understand that it is voluntary. But I was fired up at the guys that were here. It was a great start.
Yep. Okay. Damn, I love what Coach talking about, y'all. Damn, I love what Coach be saying. Coach. Damn, Coach.
Working with John Harbaugh, that he was all about the work at this stage of the offseason. Just can you expand a little bit more on some things you took away from working with him in that regard and how maybe it's informed designing this year's program?
Use every minute of every day. It's all about winning. That's what we do, right? I mean, within the rules, use every minute of every day, every resource that we have to help develop our players and develop our systems that allow us to play clean and play fast.
So this part of the off-season workouts is about teaching the new playbook. And for you, do you have maybe a philosophical approach that you're trying to get in terms of not just development, but installation and teaching these guys what you're looking to get when you are able to get out on the field?
Well, first off, phase one ought to be more about their individual techniques, irrespective of the playbook. For each position, they have their own playbook in terms of what it should look like, what blocking techniques, the terminology that goes with that, their drills once we get on the field, because it's going to carry over. Within a certain route concepts, you might have the same route that shows up 3 times, 4 times. How do we get proficient at that one route, that one blocking technique? What we're asking them to do on defense. So it's really more fundamentals than anything in the first couple weeks. Then we start to get into more scheme, playbook, and then we get to go on the field with them, because it's hard to really install too much of the offense without being able to go out there with them. It really is a little bit more difficult. So, and again, it doesn't matter if they know what to do, but they can't do it, right? Like I think a big one for me is, and our players have to take some onus and some memorization in terms of the playbook. Ultimately, our coaches should not be in charge of, just to give an example, of teaching someone the history of a gun. How was a gun made, right? Where did it come from? No, ultimately, we want to teach them how to fire it. And that's what we want to do as coaches. I don't want to teach them formations. They can study that.
Right.
Motions, shifts, how we get aligned, memorization. We want our coaches to be able to coach how to do it and show it visually.
Damn. Okay, Coach.
You had said that yesterday was going to be the first time you were able to coach the quarterbacks on the playbook. Were you pleased with where they were coming in on the first day of the program in terms of, maybe, picking up concepts and that sort of thing?
What we got into, for sure. I mean, each day they're going to gain more and more information of what we do and what we expect. I was fired up. I mean, I thought all 3 guys were bright-eyed, wanting to learn. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better start in that QB room.
Coach's photo last week.
Yeah. Then why are you asking it?
Sean McVay wasn't in there. In the
Yeah,
photo
that-
either. Do you ever think that?
I can't comment on Sean McVay.
But do you feel like you got a disproportionate amount of the bluster for that?
Oh, I really don't give a shit. I mean, it had nothing to do with me.
Yeah, coach.
I mean, they
Yeah.
moved the meeting. I didn't miss it. I was just trying to get a sweet haircut.
Yeah, coach.
I mean, that's what I was trying to do.
Yeah,
And then they
coach.
moved the meeting. Now, you can blame that I should have been at the meeting when they moved it up and my ass would have known that's when it was. Yeah, okay, I got you. And was it disappointing? Bet your ass it was disappointing. Waited my whole life to be a head coach. I'm not in the head coach's picture. You'd think with AI they could have done that quickly and got me in there. But no, it's the way it is. It'll be under the bridge, and what'll matter most is how we move from here and do we win or not. That ultimately,
Right.
none of that will matter.
Right.
Is that there's this perception around the Browns, like what can go wrong, will go wrong. People always read the worst into what happens here. How can you guys change that perception?
Winning. Well, what changes everything, right?
Yeah.
What changes?
Yeah.
Winning changes everything.
Yeah.
Right? I told the
Yeah.
coaches that the other day, right? Or playing well. How does a player stop a narrative? Play well.
Oh,
How do we
shit.
stop a narrative on offense? Score.
Yeah.
How do you stop a narrative of winning? Win. It's
Yeah.
pretty freaking simple.
Yup.
Right?
Hey.
I mean, is that not
Okay,
life in
coach.
general?
Okay, coach.
There is a narrative out there that, you're not a good husband. Well, change. Be a good husband. Right? All that's part of it, right? Change the narrative. Become that. That's what we have to do. It's real simple.
Hell yeah,
Todd,
coach.
How important, since most of these guys never met you before, how important is it for you to make a good impression on them, so they know who you are on that first meeting you have?
Oh, ultimately I wanted them to know what our goals are and what we're here for as coaches. That's it. It's really simple. I said at the beginning. I mean, what business are we in? We're in the development business of our players to help them aspire to achieve all of their dreams that they've ever worked on. There's nothing more exciting for a position coach than to take a player and develop them, and that down the road they get paid. They get a second contract, be it here or somewhere else. That says I helped. There's nothing like that. Just like coaching, there's
Oh,
nothing
yeah.
like
Oh, yeah. He in this-
building a
oh.
plan, a system that you can play fast, offense, defense, special teams, and it shows up on the field. That part of that's all it is. We're in the development business and the winning business.
Oh,
and anything
yeah.
that gets in the way of those two things have to be confronted and eliminated.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
it.
Oh,
At the
yeah.
end of the
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, chat. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Hey, this head coach different. Man, y'all Monken is different, bro.
day. Whatever your goals are, doesn't
Monken
matter
is-
in life.
Monken is different,
You want to
dog.
be a great Christian? You got to eliminate anything in your life that stops you from being a great Christian. Being a great father, being a great husband. You have to eliminate those things that stop you from your goals and aspirations. That's our job.
Todd, with the
Wow, that was well said.
From your aspect, how do you split your time between having the ice here and then working, preparing for the draft stuff?
Oh, it's starting to kick up a little bit here in the next couple of weeks. It's fine. Nothing hard. Just take some time. That's all it is. I mean, we were ready for the guys to come
Whoa.
back, so there's not as much preparation that I've needed for the first 2 weeks in terms of meetings. So that allows us to kind of, be able to dedicate some time to the draft. But we're going to have that veterans mini camp, the voluntary mini camp here in a couple weeks, which is awesome, by the way, that we get a chance to get out there with them. It's interesting. We go right from phase 1 to phase 3, basically, but I think it's awesome. We get to go out on the field and get a little bit of an advanced look of our guys, especially it's leading up right to the draft.
Yeah.
You think about that. You get a couple of days before you lead into it. It's a little that you get to see, but you get at least of an idea that leads into that.
Yeah.
But it's not been hard.
He also mentioned that, he didn't think that Miles would be here. He's usually not here for the off-season program. That he's proven that he doesn't necessarily really need it. Again, I know, but do you feel like he's sort of on a different level and might not need to be here for something like this?
Well, first of all, as I've said before, this is voluntary for our players to be here. I think if you asked every coach in the NFL would they like every player to be there, that of course. I think there's certain parts of what we do from a connection standpoint, that I think is important to be here. From a schematic standpoint, from a work standpoint, not so much. And it is our job to make it to where the guys want to be here. I mean, not just by the job, but by their development, by the camaraderie, being part of a team. I mean, hell, I've been part of a team since I've been 5 years old. There's nothing like it. I wouldn't miss it because that's me. That's how I'm wired. But it is voluntary. Miles will be ready. I'm not worried about Miles.
What about eliminating things that stop you from being great? This has been a team that I think 5 of the last 6 years has ranked 20th or worse in penalty yardage over the last year. How do you coach that out of a team?
Well, I think
That's a great question. Great question.
I think
Great
you
question.
show it, you teach, and you make sure that on a daily basis it's emphasized.
Quinn Sean in a little bit, and I know he's working his way back from a tough injury, but seeing what he did his rookie season, how excited are you to get to work with him, and what do you think he can add in this offense?
Wow, I was a big fan when he came out. I mean, it was a good draft last year for running backs. I mean, there was a good number of talented players that you could envision them having, great NFL careers. And he's no different. And what you saw in film last year is a player that loves football, refuses to go down. He's hard to bring down. He plays, behind his pads. He drives his legs on contact. He's got a charismatic smile. I mean, I haven't been around and practicing yet, but I can't wait. I can't wait to get him out there, get a chance to work with him.
He is different. Yo, this man is different. He is way different than Kevin, bro. It's a night and day difference, dog.
When it comes to kind of figuring out the identity of this team and who you guys are going to be, do you know that now? Does that have to develop over time? When do you kind of figure that out?
Well, I mean, the identity of your team should never change. Now, your methods that you get to it and what it actually looks like is different. As Coach used to say, principles are set in stone, right? I mean, it ought to pop off the tape. That we're smart, we're physical, unbelievable effort, and our execution should pop off the tape. That doesn't matter what we're running, what play we're running. That identity should be there. And what are we trying to establish? A team that nobody wants to play.
Oh my goodness.
You talk so much about wanting to sort of have the quarterback figured out going into training camp so you can sort of distribute those reps. Do you have a similar thought process on sort of where guys are going to be slotted on the offensive line? I understand you might even add somebody during the draft or multiple people during the draft, but is that kind of the goal is this spring get to a point where you kind of know what that looks like going into training camp?
I think that's true. I think the hardest part is for everybody that's here is external to us and our staff. That's what's hard. Defensively, it's a little easier, with the staff we have back. But offensively, whether we brought someone from the outside or they were already here on their previous roster, we haven't really had a chance to work with them yet and get out there, which we'll have a better idea in a couple of weeks. But we do have to, and you're right, we'll have to have a depth chart. We're going to have to line up in 2 weeks. We're going to have to roll the first unit out there, and there's some past history that plays in that, and a little bit of guesswork where they're at and what we've seen up till this point in the classroom, and maybe a little bit of, what we've heard. That all goes into it, but eventually it'll all work itself out. Whatever the number of reps, I said it a week ago, it doesn't eliminate the competition. It just doesn't. It's players decide who plays. I don't decide who plays. The players decide that. And it's not where they start, it's where they finish. It's where they end up.
Oh, yeah, dog.
Talk to you about when you faced Carson last year, and do you envision his role changing at all with, Rudy in charge of that defense?
I remember being in the draft meetings and at the place I was previously and them talking about Carson. I didn't do him as the offensive coordinator, but I remember them speaking of what his superpower was, who he was. And then to see it when we played against him was impressive. Run, chase, hit, very instinctual, loves football, outstanding leader. All of those things, and you're like, well.
Facts.
They're right.
Facts.
And I'm damn glad he's a Brown.
As you approach this quarterback competition, what kinds of things are these guys going to be sort of scrutinized on, graded on as you go through these, even these first?
Okay, Mary Kay, good question.
Wherever coaching them
Good question.
What goes into this, and then how heated do you think this battle is going to be as you move through the spring?
Oh, I think like almost every position on your team is going to be a heated battle. Every year's a new year. I mean, it resets every year. I don't care where you are. Whether it's your offense and defensive systems, whether it's players, you have to reset in the off season. So there's heated competition everywhere. From a quarterback's perspective, it's a little bit more difficult just because their number one job is to get us in the end zone. And that's a little bit harder to really drill down. A couple of different reasons why. One is you're not playing any games. You don't have pads on. No one's live. So you really don't get a real feel for their athleticism, ability to escape and play make. That's probably one of the hardest things over the years of when you have athletic back. Like, this guy looks a little better in 7-on-7. Yeah, well, the game isn't 7-on-7.
Right.
It absolutely isn't. Who makes plays? Who's got an inner toughness to move the offense and get us in the end zone? And then ultimately, who does the team believe in? And usually that correlates. The team's going to believe in the guy that gives us the best chance to score and win. And when the game's on the line, whether it's 3rd downs, 4th downs, 2-minute, that they feel comfortable like we would want, that the ball's in their hands.
You mentioned the importance of tape, and it's not where you start, it's about where you finish. That being said, going through all the tape, getting these guys, these quarterbacks in the building, do you have an inkling of who will be, leading in reps to start out?
We talking about quarterback? No, not really, because there's enough there of all three. I mean, I think we'd all be able to say that. There's enough there to really like Deshaun, the way he plays. And there's enough there to really like the way Shedeur played at the back end of the year. And there's enough early in the year from Dylan that is playing the position at a very high level. So I don't see it as, it's been brought up a lot more to me than really what I think about. Other than, someone's going to have to start off first, and someone's going to go second, and someone's going to go third. And then we'll be willing to switch that. That's easily, on a daily basis, what we see, just like any position. That's not set in stone. That's something we can flip, just like the practice face. We can flip that any given day to how we see fit that gives us the best chance to develop our players. Now, how they go about it, how they study, how they take care of their body, how they manage our team, how they lead, those are set in stone. Those are non-negotiables.
Good.
That was it?